Welcome to our 10th day of reading from the Yoga Vasistha. We are on our 10th day of the actual reading, and we're on section 10, which is Rama's distressing condition. So we'll go ahead and start with an opening prayer. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvina Vaditamastu Ma Vivisha Vahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Peace Peace Peace. Om Bolo Sakura Shivananda Maharaja Ki Jai. Om Bolo Shri Swami Vishnu Devananda Maharaja Ki Jai Ma. Jai to Swami Jyotirmayananda, who brought us this edition, translated this very rare text into English for all of us to learn from. All right, let's go to our page here. All right, I'm just taking a quick review of where we were. Okay, so King Dasharatha who is representative of the ego, was not pleased with the idea of his son going to fight the demons for Vishwamitra. And now we'll continue on here. What it looks like Vishwamitra was reassuring him that to not be afraid and to allow Sri Rama to assist, that he would have all of the tools given to him by Lord Shiva. All right. Hearing these words of sage Vasistha, King Dasharatha, pleased at heart, asked his gatekeeper to bring Sri Rama in haste. Let Sri Rama and Lakshmana be brought to assist the sage. The gatekeeper went to Sri Rama's palace and brought the following news about him. O king, Sri Rama lives brooding over the vanity of objects. He is tormented by worries and anxieties, and his body has become very thin. He delights no more in the objects of the world. He utters words like, "These delights are painful, perishable, and illusory." He is not attached to enjoyments. He is indifferent to all pleasures of the senses. Sri Rama remains in seclusion, away from society. Thus, O king, we are pained at heart to see the condition of Rama. He laughs at worldly relations, prosperities, and education. He is disinterested in life, wealth, and kingdom. The pleasures of the world have become as bitter as poison for him. Just as torrential rains are unable to pierce the impervious rocks, so the alluring temptations of the world are unable to distract the mind of Rama. Sri Rama once said, as if surprised, "Alas, people cry and bewail over the miseries of the world, but they do not attain supreme dispassion. This is a great wonder." He laughs at the fleeting conditions of the world. The pleasures of the objects intensify attachment. Attachment is the cause of misery. Therefore, Sri Rama finds the whole world as an expansion of painful illusion. Section 11 is Rama is brought to Vishwamitra. Having heard the condition of Sri Rama, the great sage Vishwamitra said, "If such is the case of Rama, then bring him into my presence. Dispassion that dawns on the basis of discrimination and the all-pervading pain that is experienced through wisdom will surely bring forth a glorious fruit." It seems to me this is to say that when we're going through the dark night of the soul, or this experience of dispassion, or the coming of dispassion, through wisdom we can experience glorious fruit. Let Sri Rama be brought here. Even as a wind drives away a brooding cloud from the top of a mountain, so shall I drive away Rama's delusion. With his delusion gone, Sri Rama will abide in his essential nature, which is unlimited, peaceful, and supremely blissful. Nourished by the nectar of wisdom, Sri Rama will be healthy, joyous, peaceful, and free from mental agony. He will perform his duties without hesitation and doubt. I feel like that's a little bit of a preview of what's to come. We have to go through 2 of these volumes, and it seems like that will be that's our guide to what we're aiming for here. It's through wisdom. If Sri Rama is representative of us, we will become healthy, joyous, peaceful, and free from mental agony. We will perform our duties without hesitation and doubt. We'll continue. I will teach him the wisdom pertaining to the truth that underlies the apparent world process, knowing which Sri Rama will acquire balance of mind and will look upon gold and clods of earth with an equal eye. Then Sri Rama was brought into the presence of Vishwamitra. As he approached the royal court of Dasharatha, he shone like the moon, showering delight in all hearts. His appearance was pleasing. His body had well-proportioned limbs. He was the very personification of divine virtues. Though young and strong, he was calm and serene. As he approached King Dasharatha, Sri Rama bowed his gracious head at his father's lotus feet. Then he bowed at the feet of the sages Vasistha, Vishwamitra, and others, as well as the elders of the assembly, thus receiving blessings from them. King Dasharatha showered his affection on Rama and said, "O Rama, how is it that delusion has entered your heart? Delusion is the breeder of miseries." Then Vasistha said, "O prince, you are valiant. You have conquered the object of the senses that are hard to conquer. But if you are so powerful and heroic, why are you caught in the meshes of anxiety and grief?" Sage Vishwamitra said, "O Rama, renounce the tremor of your eyes and tell me, what is the cause of your delusion? Just as rats burrow in the ground, so these worries have dug deep in your heart. What is troubling you? What desire do you entertain? Tell me how that desire can be fulfilled. Tell me your desire and it will be given to you. Then you will not suffer from mental agony any longer." Hearing this, Sri Rama was as delighted as a peacock at the rumbling of the rain clouds. Section 12. The reason for Rama's distress. Then, thus asked, Sri Rama humbly replied, "O sage, I have been brought up in the palace of King Dasharatha. As his dearest son, I grew up in the midst of affection and tenderness. I developed a desire to visit pilgrimage centers. With the permission of my father, I visited the important tirthas, pilgrimage centers, and purified my heart. As purity of vision grew, I developed distaste for the objects of the world. My confidence in the objects was shaken. I found them to be snares spread before the jivas, or souls, to entrap and delude them, and thus to lead them to hellish conditions. The objects of the world, though existing outside, are nonetheless interlinked by the slender threads of desires. Just as animals are driven by instinct, so desires drive us to believe in the glittering values of the objects, which, like mirage, elude the grasp of the seeker. People continue to run after the mirage of pleasure, only to find themselves wandering on the burning sands with increasing thirst and fatigue. They become miserable, distressed, scorched, and tormented. Alas, it is desire itself that shines in the objects and lends value to them. Not knowing this, men rush to acquire them with feverish expectations and then come to immense grief. Though not literally sold, yet we are, as it were, sold and enslaved by objects of the world. How long shall I lead this wretched life? As forest stags fall into caverns in the wilderness and realize later their miserable predicament, we have fallen into the ditch of the world process, and we continue to move from one ditch to another. Seeing this mighty storm of delusion shattering the mountains and trees of human existence, I find it a wonder that there is no one wise enough to devise a remedy for this calamity that has befallen all. Just as a wildflower consumes howled trees, so these wild desires consume our much adored bodied, perhaps not as visibly, yet more inevitably. Perhaps not as visibly, yet more inevitably. I weep not lest the people around me follow me, but my very heart weeps, and before the tears slip from the core of my eyes, the fire of my heart evaporates them. Thus no one sees the torments that I undergo silently. We are snoring in the night of ignorance, and thieves are at work, contriving devices to steal away the precious wealth of Atmic vision. Yeah, the thieves exist in the form of anger, hatred, greed, lust, and the other vices of the lower self. Who shall fight with these cruel robbers who steal away the pearls of Atman and reduce us to a miserable plight, groping in darkness and delusion? So we'll go ahead and end there with the reason for Rama's distress. He feels that there's not a way out of the entrapments of the world. And we'll end with our closing prayer. Om Purnamida Purnamida Purnam Purnamudashate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Bolo Sakar Shivananda Maharaja Ki. Om Bolo Shri Swami Vishnu Devananda Maharaja Ki. Jai to Swami Jyotirmayinanda.